pandemic trapped a bunch of aging role-playing gamers in their homes, forcing them to crawl out of their pen and paper comfort zone and into the online world of virtual tabletops and video calls. So join them as they raise the curtain to share their stories, insights, and love of all things geek. Welcome to the Advanced Age Role-Playing Gamers Podcast, assholes.
Hello and welcome to the Advanced Age Role-Playing Gamers Podcast, bonus episode, Meet the Cast. We want you to get to know the cast, and I'm going to start out. I'm Tier. I'm one of the players in the game. My co-host for this week is...
Hello, it's I, Sean, and I'm here to assist in this grueling interview, 60-minute style interview with we're about to have. We want to get to know the cast a little bit better, and what better way than to share some of their history and gaming and how it has played a role in their lives. So, without further ado, let's meet our cast member. Go ahead, Nathan.
You just gave it away.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing.
Now,
no spoilers.
They know who I am. They already know who I am now.
Okay, then we can end the interview. Tier, you want to close?
You know what? Why don't we just go into a half an hour talking about Sean? Fuck this guy.
I'll let you know it, man.
Nathan, why don't you start out? Tell us, what was the first game you ever played, first system? What do you remember about it?
So I met this guy in middle school. It was so goddamn long ago. I don't know,
Wait a minute.
12 or 13.
This was the ice cream truck incident, was it?
No.
Okay, just checking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Tears met him. Sean knows who he is, but I met this guy. He was a transfer student from California. Just came to my middle school, and we started hanging out. And literally in his basement, he introduced me to Redbox D&D, and
Respect.
And yeah, and we just played. We just played together for a while before we added a couple more players, and then eventually we had a D&D club in middle school. It was Redbox D&D, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was really hooked, and I still play with this guy once every 6 weeks or so.
Well,
That's
good.
That's a long freaking time to play, a game or know somebody and stay consistently in touch with somebody for that long.
So to clarify, just to clarify something that for me, when you got together and played with each other, that you are talking about the Redbox D&D, right?
Mostly.
Okay, just checking. That's an experimental age. We just want to show our sensitivity to the subject. And
yeah, he checked a few boxes on my purity test form too. So
okay.
Is that sheet you have posted on a wall that's all red ink now?
Well, I tell you, Boy Scouts is wild. That's another story for another day.
It's like band camp.
A lot like band
All
camp.
right. Well, tell us about your first character. What do you remember about it?
So again, so we're playing D&D, and I guess we must have had one of the advanced D&D books at some point, because we built these twin characters. They were monks, and we just cheated the whole time.
Monks?
Monks, yeah.
Really?
Twin monks.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
we cheated on our dice rolls, but we didn't know any better.
That was probably a Dragon magazine thing. That's what that sounds like. I mean, because even the first edition AD&D, I don't think had monks.
Yeah, but the Dragon magazine would send stuff out with characters. I used to get it. I remember now.
Because that's what I remember. That's where I read about some of the. It could be.
My memory is not that great, but I have a lot of favorite characters. Actually, my all-time favorite kind of gaming experience was in Lee's game at college, where Matt and I were playing half brothers. He was playing a half orc, and I was playing a half orc assassin, and I was playing a human fighter. And we were brothers, but a lot of people didn't because it's a college game, so players would come in and out, and not everybody knew that we were half brothers.
I didn't know. I came in the middle, like near the end of that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I did. Yeah, I know. Yes.
But that would get me into Gru, and Landro was my fighter. He was like a happy-go-lucky guy at first, but just being around Gru really kind of like darkened him, and I just remember. I just remember. So we had the same mother, and this other guy came in, and I actually saw him at Renfest last year, and I kind of apologized for everything we did to him. But
oh no, Marco!
Not Marco. No, Marco.
Not Marco.
Vaughn.
I'm sorry, Vaughn. Oh, Vaughn. Yeah, the guy. Oh, yeah.
So, he had it in for Gru. Like his character had it in for Matt's character Gru, and he'd said something really awful about Gru's mother, which also happened to be my mother. This is the only time I ever LARPed. Like we both Matt and I stood up at the same exact time at the table and reached for our imaginary swords. Like no, didn't look at each other, didn't plan. It was just like spontaneously, we're at this like, big conference room table and standing up. Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, I think I remember that actually. Yeah.
All right. You know what? I think it's time for a crossfire question.
Yes, it is.
Sean, are you ready with yours?
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready with mine.
Go with yours. Go with yours first.
All right, Nathan. 10 seconds to respond. Who was your favorite Spice Girl?
Sporty.
Okay. All right. Exactly.
I don't know.
It's like a B minus. That's all right. All right, Sean, go.
I think that's the one that's married to a soccer player.
So this is a very serious question. It's deep detail. Which is your favorite Terminator movie?
T2.
T2? Okay.
Yeah. Respect.
That's respect. Okay, that's good. Moving on. We'll move on from that point on.
Which is my favorite Star Wars movie?
Okay, which one? Oh, wait a minute. Return of the Bone? I mean, I'm sorry. What's
I
don't know. Tell me.
That's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's
the poster behind me.
Oh, I see. That's why.
I'm like pointing at this poster.
I will say this.
You were just listening to this.
Yeah. I will say this with that game that Lee ran, and that's one of the only. A lot of Lee games I was very frustrated. I felt they were too scripted. That one wasn't though, and
no.
And I never saw a game where people. We always had to play good characters here, and Matt's character wasn't good, and he killed other player characters, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this.
I helped.
Yeah, you helped, and I would sit there like, what do I do? Because I don't, I was like, do I just go along with this? And it was really interesting. I liked the character.
I tell you that I remember that because that was like such a moment for me because that really kind of affected the way. And this is probably another question there. That affected the way I DM or GM is. I don't mind interparty conflict. It's natural. I don't want to rein people in. I like a little bit of chaos. I like consequences. So when players do something stupid, there are consequences.
Yes.
And I like things to be. I like it a little dark. I like things to be hard. Because otherwise. And that kind of situation really is really put me down this path of okay, this is I'm not gonna write too much down. I'm gonna try and be as improvisational as possible, which is hard because sometimes you guys are really throw me for a loop. Parlay.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
Not one session. Not even in the bonus episode can I escape that.
Hey, listen. Listen. If I had been playing one of my normal characters instead of a Hero Forge cleric, I would have fucking slapped the fuck out of your paladin and said, "No, we're not parlaying." So,
Paladin is kind of a badass. I mean, come on. That's the first. Look, it was. You guys did what you wanted to do. I wasn't wasting your time.
Well, listen, as you bravely ran away after all the Giants came out, I thought that's when I started laughing about the parlays. Like, that really worked out for you. So, but you played it. That's fine. Hey, Nathan, real quick, why don't we move on to your favorite game system? I'm interested to see how you answer this.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know Nathan, there are shelves and shelves and shelves of game systems
right behind
all
him.
that. Yeah, his whole house is pretty much a game system.
Yeah, that's actually, I moved like most of them to the basement. I've got another bookshelf down there. That's mostly just books now and some of my 3D printed stuff. But
yeah.
All right. So
what is the favorite? Tell us.
I have such gaming ADD. Like anytime there's something new, I just want to try it out. So I really like the whole Free League Year Zero engine. That's what we're doing right now with the this Alien game that we just finished up, and that we're starting up pretty soon with the Twilight 2000. So I like it because it's gritty. There's a lot of chances for failure, and I think it rewards you if you survive because you feel like you've really accomplished something. So I like that a lot. D&D 5th edition fits like an old glove, and so there's just so much comfort there, and you don't have to think about it. You know what it is. You know how to play. And 5e feels to me a lot like earlier editions where it's just not so complicated. 3.5, which a lot of people love, I think just added a lot of just a lot of mechanics, a lot of fiddly bits, and 4th edition was fun for what it was, but 5th edition really feels it's got enough new stuff in it, but it's still a lot of callbacks to earlier editions that makes it comfortable. And running things like I did with you Against the Giants, which is an older module, it felt like playing back then. So I can't pick a favorite. They're all my babies.
That's fine. I mean, I echoed you. I think in my interview, 5e. I think 5e is the most diverse system out there right now because you could do anything with it. Just about they've got DTS. Well, it's not TSR, but D&D, AD&D. They have years of experience, like 50 years almost now. So they got the best. They got the best system, I think.
It's an adaptable system too. You can use it to play other games, to play other settings other than high fantasy, low fantasy. I've seen people use it for Sean and I know we're into the some of the dark fantasy games podcasts that are out on the web right now. Dark Dice, things like that. They're just it lends itself pretty well.
Yeah, you could play a Cthulhu-like game with the 5e. Basically, you add stress dice, and you get it's pretty. It could be pretty interesting.
All right, you can't pick a favorite game. No. Tell us about your favorite character. You got to have a favorite character. Like one you would go back to if you could.
Man, so I guess I talked about that Landro D&D character a bit, but there was probably one of the ones I had most fun was in the old Vampire the Masquerade game. I had this Malkavian, and I don't even remember his name.
I remember him. Yeah.
But I just loved
Clan Caitiff.
Clan
Caitiff.
I had a lot of fun playing and running that system, and I actually, I still have like a ton of books. I'd go back to that in a heartbeat. But yeah, this Malkavian, I just love playing someone that was like so free and like saw stuff at like a that was just that wasn't there necessarily.
Well, I thought it was I thought that character. So Tyr doesn't know this, but from my perspective, the basis of the characters And if you're not familiar with Vampire, the Masquerade at the time, you had clans, and Caitiff had no clan. They were just free vampires. So you said you wanted a voice. You were like the social advocate for the Caitiff. You're like, we were going to become a clan and join, and that was the goal. And we all sort of first were laughing at him. We did. We laughed at this guy's nuts, and then we're like, hey, it sort of got to the point. Let's join in, and then. And it became a thing, and then you were almost assassinated a couple times. So it became really intense. I remember that thinking, man, this guy's Dathan, man, what the hell is he doing? And then I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. So I like that character.
I don't know where I got that from. Yeah, that was fun.
I remember in college playing. I played a lot of werewolf. You know, people played vampire. I played werewolves in vampire games. I love that. I love that setting and that system. It was good.
Yeah, and they've updated it. You know, I've got the 20th anniversary edition, I'd go back to that in a heartbeat. There's sometime, you know, after all this, we got to sit down and really talk about what other games we want to try out.
Well, you know what? Why don't we go into
the next question?
What game? What games are you running right now?
So I'm running
or playing in.
So I'm running the D&D 5th edition game right now that's been kind of put on the back burner. I'm spending a lot of time doing this. And I've been running that for a couple of years now. It's really just like every month and a half. And you know, so it's like my longest friend, probably like 47 years now I've known the guy. Not 47. What am I saying?
About to say, what the fuck?
37. Not
he was 2 years. He was 2 years old when they started rolling dice. Come on, bitch!
So I'm not so good at math. But yeah, so it's really it's like my excuse to kind of hang out with him for a few hours, which is great. So I'm doing that. I'm in a Starfinder game that Matt's running.
Yep.
Well, I just finished up the Alien game with you guys, which I tell you, I love that whole game. I love the characters you played, even though like these were like, you know, scripted characters that were like handed to you, and you just took those characters and ran with them. It really felt like you guys had created these characters from scratch. I'm just really like, because sometimes with pre-gens, it's hard to do is take a pre-gen and turn that into your own thing. But man, you guys really did that.
Well, you also got to let us do it. So thank you for that. Because if you hadn't, it wouldn't have been as fun. And it also had been a very lame vanilla podcast. And we would just be like, we would have no followers when we start this. So
I wish we were able to record that whole thing, because that would have been. There's so many funny moments going back and listening to those, and I just feel like we're gonna have like a. I'm gonna have to sneak a little bear claw somewhere in every story from like now until I die. So this Twilight 2000, just going through the rules again, getting ready for this, it has hit locations.
That's right. It does. Yeah,
you guys are going to get.
We're going to get fucked up, man. No, I mean, we're going to get. I mean, I think Chris had mentioned. I think you were still on. No, you ran off by then. You had something else to do. But Chris had talked about this weekend sitting down and going over making a character tier, as I remember. So we might actually do that just to prep for for making our characters, so we have an idea what we're going to make for Twilight 2000. But hey, real quick, so to keep things moving, why'd you get into role playing games? I think you might have answered that.
Yeah. Just. Yes, friends and stayed in to keep friends.
Now, but now it's more important. We have another crossfire question, and I'm going to ask you the first question. The first question is, when is the first time you remember Matt getting drunk and falling asleep on the shitter? For those of you who don't know, there was a period our good friend Matt, who's a co-DM, and
absolutely no relation to the Matt who's on this game. No,
Matt was we would go out, and he never drove, but he would, at the end of the night, you're tired. He would eat something, go into the bathroom, lock the door, and fall asleep on the crapper. And it happened once where he said, okay, but then it kept happening. And for the first 6 times, he never remembered it happened. He swore the next day we were lying. But do you remember Ethan the first time?
Oh, yeah. Like, even in my apartment. So, yeah, it was like, there's not early memory of that. So, yeah, but there's definitely clear memories of that.
It would be funny because if he just look up into us, it would take us like 10 minutes to get him out of there. Then we get him, he'd be fine. He could pull his pants up. It wasn't like anything horrible, guys. It was just he fell asleep. Sometimes he didn't even use the bathroom. He just sat down and fell asleep. Then he went to bed. But it was always funny.
I never really checked the toilet to see if he had used the bathroom.
No,
so
but
that's maybe your
like
thing.
His pants. Well, I want to look at the fecal matter to make sure there's no striations or blood, to make sure we don't have to take him to the hospital.
That's friendship. That's
friendship right there. But I always were amazed. The next day he would look at us like we were crazy. Like, no, really, you did. He never believed it. Until Greg videoed him one time, I think. How about your questions here?
My question, two-part question. Mm-hmm. First, within arm's reach, do you have physical dice next to you right now?
Wow.
Okay. Out of all the, here's part 2. Out of all the dice you own, what is your favorite?
I've lost so many dice. I don't know where they go, but like I had this yellow 20-sided die that I lost probably like 5 years ago, and I still miss it. It was like an ugly yellow die, but I had it for like a million years, so I really miss that die. So I don't really have a favorite anymore. Like I have a bunch of dice, of course, but they're like none of them seem special.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
too sad.
I had a green dice. It was in my old, and I haven't found it yet. When we moved, it's in the old. Matt had it too. Matt has one too. It's an NBC kit from when you were in the military back in the 80s and 90s, and I had a green marbleized dice that became my die, and that was my 20-sided die in every game. But I haven't found it recently. So now I got these metal die that if I throw them too hard, it'll break through the wall. Because they're that hard. I don't even want to throw them on the table. Oh God, they're loud too.
Yeah. So Nathan, we talked about your favorites. We talked about how you got into things, but like, why do you like to play role-playing games?
You get to hang out with cool people. Well, you get to hang out with people.
Wait, is that in the other game that you play with? Not with.
It's obviously not with me.
It's like I played with you for quite a while, Tier, Sean, like over 20 years now.
Yeah, closer to 30. So
yeah. I guess probably 30 years for you, and Matt was high school.
Yeah.
Jesus, I mean, it's just like, what other kind of hobbies do you like keep people in and stay in their lives for this long and get to spend like 4 hours fucking around at a table with a bunch of dice? I mean, it's that's what it's all about is just acting like goofballs for a few hours when you get some time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that at a strip joint because the dice might roll somewhere and you might lose them in some place.
So you've been talking about strip joints a lot tonight.
Yeah,
Sean, is this on your mind?
Yeah. I'm just reminiscing about when I first met you guys, and I'm just remember how much I'm actually thinking about the
first
women
time I danced
drinks.
for you.
Yeah, the first time you danced for me, that was
the Hanger Club.
Yeah, I lost a bet, and we had a guy who I remember he wanted to go down there one night when the girls left. The Hanger Club Tier was a strip joint in Southern PG County for women. Hanger, got it? So his idea was we should all go down there when the women leave the club. And I'm like, that's actually a brilliant idea. You're going to get these boozed up women who are horny coming out. Now, mind you, you don't know what they're going to look like, so it's not a club. So it's sort of like we never did it, but I was up for it because just for the story to see. I'm not saying I would have gone into bed with any of them or anything. I'm not like that. Just yeah. I mean, I was a saint, a chaste person before I met my wife. All these stories of strip joints are just, this is my persona, guys. I'm not really like this, but my persona. But yeah, that was funny. No, I just God, how much money I wasted in anyway.
On therapy, thinking about going to strip clubs because you never do because you're a chaste person.
Yes.
Well, this leads us to our next question. It's like, Nathan, what?
It does.
Yeah, it does. Look, I'm trying to tie this shit together. Okay, I got. We can sit. We can have a podcast sitting around talking about going to strip clubs in the late, in the early 90s,
which none of us has done in 30 years. So let's go.
So what real world experiences do you think have shaped the way you play role playing games? Do you think anything has had from your outside your real life, quote unquote real life, has changed the way you do things?
Well, yeah. So I kind of have a somewhat of a sales type job right now. Just kind of that work experience, and kind of like just really being able to listen. Like when I'm a player, I'm like really I'm not a great player because I'm too quiet. I don't really, I connive a lot and plan a lot, but I don't really say a lot. But I think really my work life has really helped me listen, helped me be more comfortable in the public speaking aspect of being a DM. I still stammer a lot and I kind of like have to ponder and think about what I'm going to say. But I'm really a lot better, and I'm a lot better at it's made me a better DM, really. Not really a better player, but maybe a better DM all around. Just kind of my work experience.
I think you're being a little hard on yourself. I think some of your characters are great. I liked your and Matt's the game we met. My friend Matt runs a Starfinder game, and your character in that game has some of the best one-liners and this subtle little things, comments he makes that are fucking hilarious. Like, hey, so the setup is there's a machine basically that shoots a big laser, but it's powered by life. And he's like, and he talks up to my character who is sort of this religious sect likes a lot. They think he was a religious figures. Hey, you think we can get some of them people to go into this chamber for a test? And I'm going, you want to test the cannon? I said, I'll get back with you. But it's real subtle and quiet and just really evil, but just in such a non-offending way. I thought it was great. I plot and scheme. I'm just not super verbose as a player. I don't know anybody like that.
And the sad part is, as much as you all talk about it, Malcolm put you all to shame.
Oh Jesus, yeah, he does. Jesus Christ.
The most verbose characters,
elegant,
brilliant tapestry,
elegant characters. Jesus Christ!
It possesses the inability for one-word answers.
I am a crude, blunt instrument compared to him. His razor sharp wit.
You are the hammer to his velvet glove.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I really miss him. I'm sad he couldn't make the rest of the Alien games.
Yes.
Those first couple sessions with him playing Chaplin, I was dying. Listening to those back again, from the test recordings.
God, yeah,
he's killing me.
He was back talking Gunny every chance he could, and I'm just trying not to laugh.
But we probably wouldn't even be in the fort yet if we were still playing.
No, we wouldn't.
No,
but it would be awesome and amazing.
It would be gold.
Yeah. We'd be playing that for like a year.
We'd have 3 different character systems ready to go behind this, just characters made and ready, and we'd still be like, Malcolm, we were really trying to finish this. I know, but I think we could do this, and my character wants to explore, and I'm like, oh God, Jesus Christ.
This week I want to take up painting. What?
Madam
but that goes about how you run games. You run your games you run your game sandbox. Like let us explore the world, feel out stuff that we know you wanted us to get over to the fort. We know you wanted us to do that. but you let us go and do what we needed to do.
I totally, you totally could have gone to the airfield or spaceport or whatever it's called, and that would have delayed things. You'd end back at Fort Nebraska anyway because you wouldn't need because all the ships there are destroyed, but.
I mean, D&D, we spent 2 weeks just riding around the outside of the Fort of the Hill Giants. Who knows?
I like it that way. I usually in this upcoming Twilight 2000 game, or I guess will be by the time this is published, we'll probably be part way into it. But I really only have two kind of events planned. I'll call them events. They're not really events, but I have two things planned. And other than that, I'm really trying to I'm right now. If I share my screen, you'd see a map from the alpha, and you'll see a bunch of Wikipedia pages of Polish cities. So I can learn how to fucking pronounce them.
Oh, good luck with that.
I can pronounce them. I've been to Poland, so I got a few down.
We'll get tested, interpret.
Yeah. Wots and was it Kripits, something like that. But anyway, so I'm trying to basically because there's I can kind of put you down there. But it's up to you on which direction you go because you're basically given a map and say, okay, well, you can't go back here because the Russians destroyed that city and you'll die if you go back there. Where do you want to go? And so I'm basically trying to learn as much as I can about the surrounding areas and see what you guys want to do. And there's some random encounters and stuff like that. But I have kind of two things that are going to happen, or that will be around no matter which way you go. And that's kind of going to drive the drama, I think, in this.
That sounds pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. So let's try and move this on a little bit because it's great. It's great, but you're talking like me.
I know.
Why do you think role-playing games are so popular today, Nathan?
Really, it's. I think we've got a lot of escapist culture, and kind of the kind of the geek culture is king now. Look at all the 3,000 Marvel movies that we have. We've had a whole other Star Wars series, which we never knew we were going to have when I was 8 years old. Going to see the first one, and that's driving the money, and I think that's kind of taking away some of the stigma that things like D&D used to have. And then you get the people that a lot of the video games that people play kind of come from RPGs, role playing games. So it's you're seeing a lot of kind of cross contamination, especially with things like the new Cyberpunk video game and Cyberpunk Red, the RPG. You've got people who've only played video games as well. Oh, there's this pen and paper Cyberpunk Red thing, and they're looking up on that and trying to figure that out, and then D&D is so popular now. They're making it super easy with D&D Beyond and Critical Role success, of course, has driven a lot of that, and kudos to them. I love listening to those guys. And Nerd Poker too. That's my two favorite D&D podcasts. So yeah.
Oh, great! You just ruined Sean's other question. Thanks. What are your favorite D&D podcasts? Now you've ruined it. You know what, Sean? I don't know if I can continue. This is just too much.
Yeah, that was my question. That was the most important question I had tonight for you, Nathan.
Well, you know what? Let's just go to another crossfire question.
Yes, go ahead. Oh God, go ahead.
All right, Nathan.
Yes.
Free Tibet?
No.
Oh, okay.
They deserve what they got. Consequences, man. Consequences.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama. I'm with Nathan. The Dalai Lama is actually the ultimate evil in the universe. There, I mean, him and his cool demeanor is a lie.
We're gonna have to disagree on that one. That's cool. That's cool. I respect your opinion, brother.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
So I'm going to ask you an interesting question, and from a personal standpoint. So I've gamed with you a lot. This is actually, by the way, the Matt question earlier, I actually thought Matt was going to watch this. That's why I wanted to ask the one about the crapper. Let me put that disclaimer in. That's why I asked it, and it was down here.
Edit that out. Who knows?
You are? Okay, you probably should.
I don't know. I'll see.
But I wanted Matt to respond to that. But
I edited out a lot of your dialogue anyway. Go ahead.
No, you should. I say a lot of inappropriate things.
It's just going to be the intro, your answers, and us saying goodbye. That's it.
Tier stuff will all be there. Every time Sean has no fee, he doesn't care about the social consequences of his verbiage. We gotta because he thinks it's all bullshit. So if you look at character, what is the most, I'd say, ridiculous, as in, and it could be ridiculous, or it could be like ridiculously stupid or ridiculously amazing character you ever saw somebody play, and followed up by, what is the stupidest idea you ever saw somebody play as a character in a game? And it can be any game. It can even be a character I played as ridiculously stupid. I won't be offended by it because I played some ridiculous stuff.
Man, there's so many ridiculous.
There's got to be one that rises to the top. The one that rises right to the top. The first one you can think of.
Well, see, I can only think of my own stuff. That's I'm such a narcissist.
No.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of you, Nathan, as narcissist.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a closet narcissist.
A passive narcissist.
He's an narcissist.
Arsonist. Man, there's at Malcolm's house one time we brought out the Marvel superheroes.
Yes.
The Phase Rip.
Yes.
Game, and just made random characters from rolling, and Matt made this the guy from the Motley Crue album covers. What's that guy called?
Oh, you're just
the zombie guy.
No, you mean Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Eddie.
Not a heavy metal guy.
Eddie. I knew Eddie.
So Matt made Eddie, and he had a kind of a punch that he could do from a distance. That was the power, and the way he explained it was basically he was like throwing his fist at his arm would like disconnect and fly across the air and hit people, his limbs. So that was pretty ridiculous. That's like the first thing that comes to mind.
That's good.
That's good.
I did make a really ridiculous villain for Champions, if you want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's real quick.
Sure.
I used to play a ton of Champions, and I'd love to get back into it. But so I had this one villain, and he showed up at every time there was a battle in the public, and he'd only show up like right when the battle was done. and we do this thing where, like, after the battle, like, the reporters would come in, the police would come in, and the crowds would come in and congratulate the heroes, and the news. There's like a bunch of microphones and cameras in the faces of all the heroes, so they get interviews. And this villain's power, so he had 3 powers. He had shrinking, I think like 9 levels. So he's like that big. He had flight, and he had a very specific version of mind control. He can only do one thing with it. He can mind control you to make you pick your nose. He was called Booger.
That's the best.
And that wasn't the first thing that came to mind?
Well, I was trying not to be that narcissist.
No, that's amazing. Oh my god. That is amazing.
But yeah, he had like because he can only do this one thing. He has so many dice. He had like 20 dice in my controller or something like that.
Nathan, this is what I'm talking about when you knew your characters. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, like my characters, you guys, I'm really curious to see what you guys are gonna do. But that was a lot of fun, and everybody hated him. And like as you guys know,
You could never find them.
you guys hate me because you ain't me.
No, I like you, Nathan. I hate you. I give you shit when we go something that's obvious that we would notice, like, oh yeah, all three of these guys, the chest bursters came out and just disappeared. Like we didn't notice three guys' chests explode somehow. Nathan, I was like, that's when I give you the motherfucker. I said, man, Nathan, you motherfucker. Like,
it didn't affect the game anymore. I was going to do it a lot sooner, but we were just dragging along.
I thought it was funny. It was funny how you cut cords, and it's one of us will catch you on it, but that's okay. I think everybody does it.
Yeah. All right, I think we got about two more questions left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we're running out of time. I know I don't. Hey, we're having such a great time. I hate to bring up a heavy topic, but has the pandemic changed the way that you game?
How the fuck is that heavy? That's not
People
heavy.
die every day. It's like thousands of people dying every day.
But it's people. It's just sad. Yes, it's true. See,
We're talking.
Thanks, Terry. You're bringing me down. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll put the hat of shame on later. It's fine.
Jesus, you dick.
I hate to say this, but it's been good for my gaming because I spent like so much time with you guys and getting to know Chris and Tony, and so that's really changed, and having like a regular thing because a lot of times when I love having people at my house. I've got like a whole room kind of set up for this, and I'm still like decorating it. And nobody's like really used it.
I know, Jesus,
a year.
I saw it.
But so that sucks. Not having people around because that's really good. Because it really, like the way we play now when we get together is like half of it's food, and drinking and all that stuff. But now it's we're really, I think, as far as like kind of the really fun parts of the gaming part, not just the friends part. The friends part is fun either way, but the gaming parts I think is actually better because we're like concentrating more on the game. There's less side talk and we're more consistent. Because before, a game like we do now, we'll do like once a month. That's the only time we will get together and sit down and game the way that we're comfortable gaming in person. But now, so I've got your game. I don't know why I didn't mention this earlier, but I have this great Thursday night group of people that are like almost half my age, and they're like teaching me. They're teaching me a lot about like how they game. And it's because I've really mostly all my life played with you, Sean, Matt, and a few other people. I haven't really opened up my gaming group, and with this my Thursday night crowd, it's so nice playing with them because I'm getting to know them, they're getting to know me. So it's just I'm doing a lot more gaming. So I should just edit out everything else and say it's changed because I'm doing a lot more gaming.
No, I agree with you there. I think this technology is a big help. We could have done this like 10 years ago in the same fashion. Yeah. So we're moving on real quick because we hit that question. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
Man, so I just love this hobby, and I hope that you enjoy the strong, crazy personalities that everybody brings to our table, and I hope you basically. I hope you have if you're younger than me. I hope you have what I have now. It's like a I'm 50 years old, and I've got a bunch of friends I see all the time, and we have like such a strong bond, and it's because of gaming. There's without it, I never would have met like any of these people, and it's brought us together. So I'm just I hope you have what I have. So.
That's a pretty good summary, and I just want to say myself and Tier were not paid to be here today, so there's truth to that. And this, I think, will wrap a session of Meet the Cast. Thank you, Nathan, for sitting down and sharing your personal story with us, and thanks again to you, the listeners, for tuning into the Advanced Age Role Playing Gamers podcast. Assholes.
Zombies.
Until next time, stay safe, healthy, as Tony Cooper would say. But Tier, you have any final thoughts?
Nope. Just thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, we'll see you all next week, and please enjoy. Leave your comments in the comments section, and and just remember, keep your dice warm. Thank you.
Bear claw.
Bear claw.